The mayor of Denver puts his city employees on alert. Layoffs are just around the corner. The Trump administration goes to court to defend a Mesa County deputy accused of turning a student over to ICE. The USDA wants to move employees out of Washington and to Fort Collins. The mayor there says she's cautiously optimistic.
I say welcome to Fort Collins. I think you'll like it here.
And a first-of-its-kind music program is keeping mariachi alive in Colorado.
It's hearing the culture, it's hearing the poetry, it's seeing the passion.
Kyle's on vacation, so we replaced him with some nice music. Tonight on Next. Every employee at the city of Denver got an email today from the mayor. Told them that layoffs will begin on August 18th. The city is facing a $250 million budget shortfall over the next 2 years. That's bad. And we still don't know exactly how many people will lose their jobs because of it. The mayor says all layoff notifications will be made over a 1-week period beginning in mid-August. As soon as they're laid off, they'll be sent home. Employees will receive a 30-day paid administrative leave and severance based on how long they've worked with the city. The big question, of course, that remains is how many people will lose their jobs because of this. We're asking, but the mayor still says even the city doesn't know. Here's what he told Kyle earlier this month.
What we're really trying to do there is make layoffs the absolute last option in any of those scenarios. So I'm sitting down with every single one of our 27 cabinet heads and saying, what does your department do that is the most core public service we can't step back on?
But what's the number? Because here's my question. How much of the fix is going to fall on the backs of city employees?
Yeah, so right now we won't know the final number until we have all 27 budgets balanced, because if one budget doesn't balance, the other 26 don't balance either. So we are working through each of those. We'll know by end of August, kind of mid-September when the budget comes out. What I can tell you is in every one of those conversations, the goal is to make sure that we do everything possible to make sure it isn't balanced on a city employee.
And now we know that they'll likely know that number by August 18th. City also just changed the rules for who is laid off first. Before, it was solely based on seniority. With the new standards, however, passed just a couple of weeks ago, performance metrics are now weighed more heavily. Union representing city workers says it's a way to fire older workers who've been with the city for a long time and make more money. The U.S. Department of Justice is suing to overturn a new Colorado law that restricts how local governments can cooperate with ICE. It could impact the state's ongoing investigation into a Mesa County deputy accused of helping ICE detain a student after a traffic stop on the western slope. The DOJ was already suing state and local officials over several so-called sanctuary policies that limit local law enforcement's ability to enforce immigration law. Now they're also suing over Colorado's newest immigration policy. This one adds some sweeping new protections, like requiring ICE to get a warrant before entering public buildings like schools and hospitals, and prohibiting local government employees from sharing personal information with immigration authorities unless they have a court-issued warrant or subpoena. The DOJ claims these laws interfere with federal authority and that Colorado is, quote, hauling law enforcement agents into court as punishment for doing their jobs. Colorado's Democratic Attorney General Phil Weiser cited the new state law when his office announced a lawsuit against Mesa County Deputy Alexander Zwink this month. Zwink pulled over a 19-year-old student from Brazil last month during that traffic stop. Weiser's office claims that Zwink tipped off immigration agents and helped them locate the student after the traffic stop.
He stalled the driver in his patrol car while the federal officers were en route to the incident. And then he told the federal officers, after he released the driver, what direction she was traveling in. Federal immigration enforcement is the job of the federal government, not Colorado law enforcement.
The DOJ's lawsuit also asked to overturn a state law that restricts the federal government from using local jails or government-owned property for ICE detention. So right now, there is only one immigration detention center in Colorado, and that lawsuit says that creates a risk for ICE agents who have to travel long distances to get there. Turning now to the weather. It was hot and muggy out there, Kathy. Highest dew point in 17 years in Denver, I'm told.
Yeah, I believe, Mark, that we tied that record at 66 degrees for the dew point this morning. And that's like Midwest humidity, all compliments of a cool front that brought in the murk and the cloud cover, but also brought temperatures down into the 70s and lower 80s today after 3 days with triple-digit highs and temperatures in the mid-90s. Looking at the current reading, still 79 in Denver, 80 at DIA, and 67 in Pueblo. The radar is active. We have a line of severe storms along that front dropping south. Still waiting to see if some of these storms are going to make it into Denver. They may not today, but they will tomorrow as we go under a weather impact alert for the potential for flash flooding here in the city. We're tracking flash flood warnings in and around Pueblo, Colorado City, Fountain, and then out on the eastern plains, we've had reports of 2 and 3-inch diameter hail around Calhan, Agate, Lyman. Those storms are still going strong tonight. They're slow movers, so they're dropping 1 to 3 inches of rain in less than an hour's time. So a flood watch extended out south of Denver down to the New Mexico line through 9 o'clock this evening. We're also level 1 of 5 for a severe weather threat both today and tomorrow. And so this is going to be kind of a busy 24-hour period for us with, again, the flood threat being the primary concern. Enjoy the temporary cool down. Your weather headlines do include that heavy rain and flood threat tonight and again tomorrow. We have warmer, drier weather coming in for the weekend, but tomorrow is a weather impact alert for the flash flood threat here in Denver. That alert out from 1 o'clock to 11 o'clock, and we certainly are expecting some heavy rain here in the city.
Kathy, thank you. Denver City Councilors are one step closer to putting a nearly $1 billion bond proposal on the ballot for voters in November. If voters approve the bond, taxpayers would finance dozens of community projects over the next 6 years. After a marathon public hearing last night, city councilors gave preliminary approval to a $950 million bond project. It would pay for nearly 60 projects, including infrastructure upgrades, park improvements, and community developments. Several projects didn't make the cut, though, like a new elections office, more bike safety infrastructure, and a Denver Zoo project. The original bond proposal included $50 million to reopen a closed area of the zoo and turn it into an exhibit for Latin American species. That's been scaled back to just $3 million now, despite the zoo's very public efforts to have the funding restored.
Was really to bring forth an area of the zoo that is currently closed, has been closed for 7 years because it no longer meets animal standards and welfare, and also has crumbling infrastructure. This would have taken those buildings down, built a habitat and an exhibit.
Several city councilors have been critical of the bond proposal throughout the process. Last night, the project list passed on a 10-3 vote. City councilors still have to take a final vote next week before voters will vote on it in November. A Republican state lawmaker is seeking an ethics investigation into a Republican state lawmaker. State Representative Brandy Bradley wants House leadership to investigate new claims against State Rep Ron Weinberg. Weinberg is already facing complaints about inappropriate behavior, and as Marshall Zellinger explains, this new complaint is about inappropriate access to offices in the Capitol.
Office with 4 Republican state lawmakers has a light, but the switch is in the office next door, Republican State Representative Stephanie Luck's office. In January, Luck filed a complaint after she learned Republican State Representative Ron Weinberg used a key to get into her office without her permission to turn on the light switch. The details of Luck's complaint are laid out in this January 29th letter from Democratic House Speaker Julie McCluskey to House Minority Leader Rose Puglisi. The complaint from Luck was that Weinberg accessed her office without her permission, and that Weinberg had a master key, which he denied. Weinberg claimed that he went to the clerk's office to get a master key, and McCluskey wrote in the letter there is no evidence to refute Weinberg's account. But if he has a master key, she wrote, he must turn it over immediately. The next day, after writing there was no reason to refute Weinberg's account about not having a master key, the Speaker's office door was among 8 doors with a high priority request to be rekeyed. This work order lists 2 of the rooms, but a spokesman for the Department of Personnel and Administration confirmed the request was for 8 doors to be rekeyed. Those doors included the Speaker's office, House Majority office, meaning top Democrats and staff, Luck's office door, also the House Minority office, where the top Republicans and staff work. Earlier this month, Weinberg withdrew from running for a House Republican leadership role after 2 women accused him of inappropriate sexual behavior from before he was a state lawmaker. Weinberg denied those claims in a social media post.
Reached out to Weinberg about today's office access issue, left him a voicemail, have not heard back. Suspicious timing, Mark. I just know that when you look at the timeline, you have the Speaker writing a letter on January 29th to the House Minority Leader, who oversees the Republicans, saying, we don't have any reason to refute that he has a master key. And then the next day, she's among leadership requests to have her and other offices rekeyed, along with Luck, whose office it was. What I learned today from a spokesperson for the House Democrats is, one, they don't talk about security issues. When I asked, why was it rekeyed? And secondly, did all 100 lawmakers get notification, hey, we might have a concern? I don't believe all 100 lawmakers, or at least all 65 in the House, were notified, perhaps until now.
Some might say, hey, I would have wanted to change my key as well.
Sure. Like, if you I mean, this is what I'm going to have to find out over the next few days.
Sure.
What did lawmakers know, and what would they have liked to have known?
Interesting. Marshall Zellender, appreciate it. Thank you. The mayor of Fort Collins says she wasn't given a heads up when the Trump administration picked her city to take in relocated federal employees. About 2,600 U.S. Department of Agriculture workers are expected to move from Washington, D.C. to be closer to farmers in 5 central hubs, including Fort Collins. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins says the department's 4,000 employees in D.C. are, quote, underutilized and redundant. Fort Collins Mayor Jenny Arndt says the idea makes sense, but hopes it doesn't lead to more layoffs.
The United States Department of Agriculture is already decentralized. If it makes more sense for some people to live in different regions, that's okay. But I hope it's not a reason that they're using to downsize further a very important branch of our federal government.
Right now, it's not really clear how many workers are coming to Fort Collins. The other cities selected as USDA hubs are Salt Lake City, Kansas City, Indianapolis, and Raleigh. Just ahead, many Latino students in Colorado have grown up loving mariachi. A new degree program will now help them carry that passion into the future.
It was crazy. It's something that I've hoped Colorado would do for a very long time.
And it takes charisma, stamina, and some serious hand-eye coordination. We'll introduce you to the 17-year-old baton twirling champion. There's a phrase that says a language can be lost with a single generation. Same is true with music. Our Angeline McCall shows us how a university is keeping traditional mariachi music passed down from one generation to the next.
We're going to play in the original key.
Travel back in time with just a few notes. Mariachi doesn't just feel like an old tradition, it is one. And the new generation wants to make sure it's not lost.
And 1. That's better.
It's part of culture and for some, identity.
I grew up around it. It's what I've always liked. Yeah, I can't imagine my life without it.
Samuel Leon just decided 2 months ago to enroll at MSU Denver to study mariachi.
I just think it's beautiful. And it causes a lot of emotion in me. Not a lot of music has that type of effect.
All right. Yes. Okay, cool.
He'll be one of the first students in the university's newest program.
Really, I decided like 2 months ago.
He's been playing with the Mariachi Club.
Sorry, my bad. And
And Associate Professor of Music, Philip Fieser.
having a kind of a new love of mariachi and this beautiful style, it's been truly a whirlwind experience.
He's the one who proposed a degree program.
Yeah.
A professional classic violinist by trade, newly turned mariachi instructor by choice.
Brian, just make sure that third finger is nice and high on that. The more I interacted with students and saw their passion for the style, my passion has grown.
MSU has been fostering a love for mariachi for a while now.
We're like in 7th grade and we're like, evolve, you know?
Maria Mesa Burgos graduated from MSU Denver in 2016.
And then I was also one of the founding members of the Mariachi Club. I eat, breathe, live mariachi. It's who I am. It's a huge part of my identity. I've been playing for over 20 years.
Almost 10 years later,
Cuando yo te lo propuse.
That's grown into a degree.
It's really moving to see that this is an option now for students. If I were to go back and there was a degree in mariachi, I definitely would have enrolled in the mariachi program.
Instead, she'll preserve the tradition with different workshops like this one at Metro.
Well, this one's called Caminos de Guanajuato. I want to keep inspiring the students to keep playing, and not only that, I want to really just start a movement of mariachi here in Colorado.
Down the hall, in the same building, are students in the same chair, now with a new opportunity.
Oh, it was crazy. It's something that I've hoped Colorado would do for a very long time.
A new degree program for an old style of music preserved by our next generation.
It's hearing the culture, it's hearing the poetry, it's seeing the passion. That's a manifestation of the Hispanic culture, you know? And so there's no better way to do it than mariachis.
Students will study subjects like music theory, and the program also requires different, on daily applications as well. MSU Denver says they worked with the Latino Cultural Arts Center to develop this curriculum specifically. Mark?
And it's also just beautiful music. Angeline McCall, appreciate it. Thank you. A Colorado teen has taken his baton twirling talent to a national championship. His routine is insane. He'll show off his skills next. Cover a lot of football, basketball, baseball here on the news, the usual suspects. We don't cover a whole lot of baton twirling. Time to change that. Our Amy Hunter spoke with Colorado's 17-year-old champion.
Clearly that trick doesn't like me today.
Sports come in all different forms.
Build off of each other.
For Byron Anderson, the best one involves throwing and catching some sticks, with a whole lot of skill involved.
Baton is a sport kind of similar to gymnastics in some ways, where it involves a stick that you're throwing 30, 40 feet in the air, and then you do different elements under it.
It's a pastime Byron's mom, Heather, wasn't aware existed.
I don't think I'd ever even heard of baton twirling.
His sister stumbled upon it when looking for a sport.
None of them kind of stuck, so we tried the baton twirling, and she loved it.
Her involvement introduced Byron to baton twirling at age 6.
And so I kind of just picked it up and started messing around, trying some tricks, and I ended up really liking it.
Now, at 17 years old, Byron's skills have taken him to the top of the charts.
I'm the USTA Men's Grand National Solo Champion.
He won the title this past month at the United States Twirling Association's competition in Florida.
It was an awesome experience.
It's a title his family is proud to see him hold.
It's been incredible. He has an incredible work ethic and just the desire to really push himself and really be the best that he can be.
He knows baton twirling, like any other sport, takes tons of practice.
That one took a long time and a lot of bruises.
He hopes all that work will lead to his next title as he competes at the World Championships in Italy.
Yes.
Win or lose, baton twirling is a sport Byron loves being part of.
You drop always way more than you catch. Just pick it back up and keep going.
Here I am dropping my pen twice a show, and he's doing that. The International Baton Twirling Federation World Championship, yes, the World Championship is happening this Saturday. It'll be the 5th World Championship that Byron has competed in. Just insane. Look at those skills, Marilyn. He's doing well. Your feedback is next. Your feedback tonight. Susan says, how is it okay that the governor is building a bridge to the state capitol that costs so much money, yet we can turn to laying off city workers? Ridiculous. Susan, we got some news for you. The bridge is no more. That doesn't mean that the $30 million or whatever that bridge was going to cost is going to save employees for the city of Denver. That money's totally separate. But the bridge is no more. That came down last week. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time. Good night.